Recently, I've been feeling off, and that's not because of how badly I need a haircut. It's because of this, my 2019 Mazda Miata, or really the Banks Miata, but anyway, I've been feeling off, and I've been feeling like this car just doesn't satiate this need and this want I have within myself, you know? I think for myself personally, I'm just wanting something more and more of something that the Miata just can't give me in its spirit. And well, what is the Miata in its spirit? It's a lightweight two-door convertible sports car. It's inviting, it's easy, and it's everything holy that comes with driving cars. And it's fun like you literally could not believe, but it's not dangerous. You know, the Miata is like, yee, and not, you know what I'm saying? Now, don't get me wrong, there's been plenty of times where I've gotten into some not so safe situations with this car, but I just don't think that's the Miata in its nature. The Miata isn't a dangerous car, at least when it comes to its driving characteristics. And I've been having this feeling inside myself of wanting that bit of danger, you know, and it sounds odd, I know, but I'm gonna tell you a little bit of a story. Before I got the Miata, one of the cars I had in mind was the S2000, and specifically the AP1 S2000. And a few months back, I see that there's one for sale at a dealership near me, so I figured it wouldn't hurt to check it out, right? So I get to the dealer and I start talking with the sales rep there, and you know, we just get to talking, and come to find out he also has an ND Miata, and you know that it's nice to have that level of relatability, you know. But we start talking, and we start talking more about why I'm there, you know, for the S2000, right? But in short, he was obviously a little bit older than me, and you know, he was just telling me his experience with his first car and how he slid out doing a simple U-turn. I'm not really sure how you slide out just doing a simple U-turn unless you're driving like a maniac or have tires or just have car control. But anyway, I think in the conversation, he took the position of sort of steering me away from the S2000 and sort of reconfirming my choice in the ND Miata. And, you know, my whole problem with that is like, I love the S2000. You know, it's for a number of reasons. The F20C and the AP1 S2000 is literally one of my favorite engines of all time. And there's just something about a Honda that revs to 9,000 RPM that I just can't get over. I love its tuning capabilities and how you can go turbocharge it, supercharge it, or even go with ITVs. But beyond all that, one of the reasons why I love the S2000 so much is because of how truly raw it is. And that's why I bring up this story in the first place. In a world where everyone is pampered with lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring, backup cameras, and the hill assist like the Miata, all that. And I really got to emphasize how a lot of these safety features, you know, pamper people, and especially younger drivers. And you don't truly become a good driver, someone who's good and safe at maneuvering a car, by having all these nannies that make driving as easy as it can be for you. And I know I might be in the minority saying that, but I already am a minority, but yeah, I know I might be in the minority saying that, and it's just because I truly believe that the people that deserve to be driving are the ones that can learn how to drive without assistance like that. And I'd probably bet that those people are a lot more aware than people who are spoiled with features like that. And that kind of leads me to my next point. Like, the S2000 came off of the heels of one of the greatest eras of car culture. And in that period of time, what you got were cars that didn't have traction control, manual transmissions were the standard, they all had cable throttles. A lot of them, if not all of them, had hydraulic steering, but the list goes on and on. But that's what I think I've been craving, something that really lives on the knife's edge and something that can really put your skills to the test. And again, that's not to say that the Miata hasn't put my skills to the test, because it definitely has. And I still feel like I haven't reached the heights and limits that this car is capable of. But in its spirit, like we talked about before, I just don't think its heights and limits are enough for who I am as a person, you know? Maybe all this is coming from the naivete of being young, and maybe that sales dude is right. Maybe cars like the S2000 are far too dangerous and far too old and far too unreliable for just a young buck who has a passion for driving. Maybe the Miata is perfect for someone like me, and I just can't see it yet. But, you know, deep down I have this feeling of yearning for something more, and, you know, not even yearning for something more, but yearning for something more me. And I just don't think the Miata is me. It's not the spitting image of me. It's not the spitting image of my soul as a car, you know? And another thing, there's something about driving and owning an older car that I really like, you know? And I know that there's a lot of quirks and features of having an older car. And by quirks and features, I really mean, you know, manageable headaches. But there's just that personal connection you have with a car that's older than you that I just really like, you know? And obviously, this car ain't old, and you might be saying, Gibson, why don't you just get rid of the car? And I am, but just not right now. I gotta see how the rest of this month goes, but the Miata will definitely be gone eventually. And if you watched the video where I first introduced the Miata, you know that this car never was really the plan. And, you know, I think I'm at the point in my life now where I just have to grab what I want out of this life, you know? If there's something I want, I just have to remove everything in my way of getting it, and that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I definitely have a couple more videos to make on the Miata before I say my goodbyes, but, you know, I just can't, in good conscience, put money towards a car that I'm not gonna keep forever, you know? I definitely wish I was making enough money to keep this and have my dream car, because the Miata definitely serves as the perfect daily driver, especially for someone like me at this stage of my life. Because beyond all the regrets I hold with this car, it really is the perfect car. I have to make a video in the future on how this car has completely changed my life and how it's changed my perception of how much fun a car can bring you. But yeah, in short, this car is perfect, and especially the perfect first car, but it's just not the perfect car for me. Now, before we wrap up the video, here's a clip of me having fun in the car on a private road. I need y'all to know that it was on a private road and not a public one. But yeah, it's safe to say this car is the definition of fun on four wheels. And just one more thing, I never really been a fan of convertibles, you know? I just never really cared for them. And especially if you live somewhere like me, you know, where you get all types of weather, where you get all four seasons of weather, it's definitely not the most fun when it's colder. But yeah, this car is perfect, just not perfect for me. And well, those have been my regrets with the new Miata. And, you know, it's funny, I mentioned the whole convertible thing as the sun starts beaming on me now. And the entirety of me filming this, I've been sweating because it's a lot hotter than I thought it was going to be. But anyway, those have been my regrets with my 2019 Mazda Miata.